Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to command the morning to set this Tuesday in divine alignment with purpose, power, and prophetic intention. As we step into this new day, we declare that heaven is open, opportunities are unfolding, and every resource assigned to our destiny is being released. This is not just another Tuesday. This is a day charged with potential, a day designed for breakthrough, for clarity, and for elevation. We activate strength, focus, and unwavering determination. We silence every voice of doubt and awaken the champion within. Today, we rise with boldness. Today, we speak with authority. Today, we move with purpose. Tuesday prayer. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this Tuesday. We command this day to yield success, peace, and divine order. Let your wisdom guide our decisions. Let your strength empower our steps. Let your favor surround us like a shield. We declare that no weapon formed against us will prosper, and every challenge will become a stepping stone. Open doors that no one can shut, and shut every door that leads to distraction or delay. Bless the work of our hands, sanctify the desires of our hearts, and let today be filled with supernatural acceleration, uncommon opportunities, and undeniable breakthroughs. In Jesus' name, amen. Today we stand in the sacred place where intention meets authority, where faith meets action, where heaven's patterns intersect with our earthly assignments. As we step into this Tuesday, we do not step casually, we do not step carelessly, we step consciously, fully aware that every sunrise announces new possibilities, new mercies, new doors waiting for those bold enough to command their day. This is not merely another date on the calendar. This is a moment encoded with spiritual potential, a day pregnant with divine opportunities, a day waiting to hear your voice speak direction into it. For words shape worlds, and the sound of your voice carries creative power designed to align your environment with heaven's blueprint for your life. So before the demands of the day attempt to shape you, you rise and shape the day. Before circumstances dictate your pace, you establish your rhythm. Before challenges present themselves, you set your internal stance. You command this Tuesday to obey divine order, to yield its treasures, to cooperate with the destiny assigned to your name. You speak to the atmosphere and call it into alignment with purpose, clarity, progress, peace, and supernatural advantage, knowing that nothing in creation is void of response when addressed with conviction and spiritual authority. As the morning unfolds, you recognize that you are not entering this day empty-handed. You come fortified with insight, strengthened by grace, positioned by divine strategy. You understand that every day is neutral until you give it direction, and Tuesday is no exception. If you do not speak to it, it may be shaped by distractions, discouragements, delays, or demonic interferences that attempt to derail your mission. Therefore, you rise early, not simply to greet the day, but to govern it. You take authority over every invisible force that seeks to influence your outcomes. You dismantle negativity before it forms. You neutralize anxiety before it manifests. You uproot confusion before it takes root. You declare that your mind is shielded, your emotions are steady, your spirit is heightened, and your purpose is fortified. You command this Tuesday to yield strength to your hands, clarity to your thoughts, and favor to your steps, for your words are not empty expressions. They are instruments of alignment, tools of transformation, and catalysts of supernatural shifts. You stand knowing that Tuesday carries all the potential of a turning point. While Monday often initiates movement, Tuesday stabilizes momentum. It is the day where the pace of the week begins to shape itself, and you refuse to allow that shape to be molded by passivity. You command productivity to unfold. You call forth hidden opportunities. You summon divine appointments into manifestation. You declare that every conversation today will be fruitful, every decision will be strategic, and every task will advance your long-term purpose. You resist the temptation to drift through routines, for you understand that routines without intentionality can create stagnation. Instead, you infuse every action with purpose. You take captive every thought that threatens to wander aimlessly. You speak directly to the unseen realm and establish your expectation. This Tuesday must cooperate with your calling, your mission, your assignment. It must release what heaven ordained and hold back what is not aligned with your growth, your healing, your elevation. As you step deeper into this Tuesday command, you become aware that authority is not merely spoken, it is embodied. So you posture yourself as one who understands the weight of your words. You center your spirit in a posture of faith and boldness. You shake off the residue of yesterday's disappointments or delays. You refuse to allow anything from your past to bleed into this day. This Tuesday is new, untouched, and full of promise. You breathe deeply and recognize that the breath within you is evidence of divine intention. You have been trusted with another day, trusted with another opportunity to shift the atmosphere, trusted with the privilege to co-labor with the Creator in the unfolding story of your life. And so you embrace the assignment of this day with vitality and expectancy. You reject weariness. You reject complacency. You reject every whisper that tells you to move small, think small, or expect small. You enlarge your inner capacity. You stretch your faith. You widen your expectation. You speak boldly to the day. I command this Tuesday to yield fruitfulness, favor, and forward momentum. You command the winds of change to blow in your direction. You command clarity to rest upon your mind like fresh oil. You command creativity to spring forth without resistance. You command focus to anchor your thoughts, sharpen your actions, and guide your decisions. You call forth the resources that have been assigned to you. You draw from wells of wisdom that are deeper than your natural understanding. You declare that your steps are ordered, your path is illuminated, and your progress is protected. You speak to the gates of Tuesday and command them to open wide. You speak to every hour and assign purpose to it. You speak to every task and command it to align with your priorities. You speak to every interaction and declare that it will be seasoned with grace, truth, and discernment. You refuse to drift. You refuse to be pulled by noise. You refuse to allow chaos to dictate your pace. Instead, you move with intentionality, fully aware that Tuesday carries divine significance. With every word you speak, you feel the atmosphere shift. Anxiety loosens its grip. Doubt begins to scatter. Weariness lifts. Hope expands. Strength rises. Purpose awakens. You begin to feel the weight of your authority, not as pressure, but as empowerment. You realize that commanding Tuesday is not about control. It is about surrendering to divine alignment while stepping into your role as a co-creator of your reality. It is about declaring that you will not be shaped by circumstances, but rather that your faith will shape your circumstances. It is about acknowledging that every day responds to the consciousness you bring to it. So you choose to bring high consciousness, elevated expectation, and unwavering faith. You declare that today you will walk in excellence, speak with wisdom, move with precision, and operate with grace. You declare that this Tuesday will not be ordinary because you refuse to be ordinary. You are a vessel of divine intention, and your words carry the force necessary to shift atmospheres. You command every lingering limitation to break. You command every form of mental fog to dissipate. You command your energy to rise and your creativity to flow without hindrance. You speak to your inner world and usher in stillness, peace, balance, and alignment. You speak to your outer world and declare that everything working against you must now bow to the authority of your assignment. You call forth supernatural acceleration in areas where there has been delay. You call forth resolution in matters that have been stagnant. You call forth progress where there has been resistance. You speak life into silent places. You speak movement into still places. You speak order into chaotic places. You speak faith into fearful places. You speak strength into weary places. You speak victory into uncertain places. For on this Tuesday, you take your rightful place as one who governs the day rather than being governed by it. You rise with the understanding that spiritual authority is not a suggestion, it is a mandate. It is the responsibility to steward your day with intention, discipline, and spiritual awareness. So you choose to speak courage even when confronted with challenges. You choose to speak hope even when circumstances seem uncertain. You choose to speak abundance even when your natural eyes cannot yet see it. You choose to declare favor even when the evidence has not yet manifested, because you understand that faith precedes form, words precede manifestation, command precedes creation. So you refuse to allow this Tuesday to be wasted, delayed, or misaligned. You declare that it will be fruitful, productive, and filled with breakthroughs that shift you toward your destiny. And as you command the day, you also release a prayer over it, a prayer that saturates the atmosphere with divine presence, a prayer that builds spiritual walls of protection around your life, a prayer that calls heaven to bear witness to your declarations, a prayer that lifts your spirit and steadies your heart. You pray that wisdom will guide your decisions, that peace will govern your emotions, that discernment will sharpen your perceptions. You pray that every closed door not meant for you will remain closed, and every open door ordained for you will become visible and accessible. You pray that divine favor will locate you, that unexpected blessings will chase you, that supernatural assistance will accompany you. You pray over your assignments, your relationships, your finances, your health, your dreams, your plans. You pray for alignment, abundance, restoration, strength, and supernatural flow. You pray that every hidden trap will be exposed, every barrier dismantled, every delay overturned. You pray knowing that heaven listens and responds to the voice of faith. You pray knowing that this Tuesday is being shaped even as you speak. You pray with confidence, assurance, and unwavering trust. You continue to command this Tuesday, layering every word with intention. You summon mental clarity that allows you to think with precision. You call forth emotional balance that keeps you centered regardless of external pressures. You declare physical strength that sustains you through every task. You call forth opportunities that advance your long-term purpose. You declare that this Tuesday will bring answers, solutions, connections, and insights that shift you forward. You declare that nothing wasted in your past will hinder the productivity of this present moment. You declare that today is a day of divine flow where everything aligns with ease and grace. You speak to your inner self and remind it of its resilience, its brilliance, its divine design. You remind yourself that you are equipped, empowered, and divinely backed. You remind yourself that no challenge today will overpower your purpose. You remind yourself that you have heaven's support, divine strategy, and spiritual authority. And as the atmosphere continues to shift, you feel the day opening up before you. You sense that your words have created pathways where none existed. You sense that your declarations have dismantled invisible obstacles. You sense that your prayer has summoned divine assistance. You feel the momentum building, the energy rising, the clarity expanding. You realize that commanding Tuesday is not about reacting to life. It is about directing it. It is about asserting your place as a co-creator of your destiny. It is about ensuring that every hour ahead aligns with divine wisdom, supernatural timing, and purposeful action. You speak once more with boldness and declare that Tuesday will unfold in excellence, productivity, progress, and peace. You declare that every moment today is infused with meaning. You declare that you will walk in confidence, speak with grace, act with precision, and move with purpose. You declare that this Tuesday will advance you, refine you, strengthen you, and propel you forward in ways both seen and unseen. You declare that the atmosphere around you is now charged with divine possibility. As you step into this Tuesday, you recognize that purpose is not a random pursuit, nor is it a vague concept floating somewhere beyond the reach of your practical life. Purpose is precise. Purpose is intentional. Purpose is encoded inside of you like a divine blueprint waiting for activation. And aligning your purpose with divine timing becomes the key that unlocks extraordinary outcomes. You understand that every day is an invitation to synchronize your inner world with heaven's schedule, to bring your desires, actions, and decisions into harmony with a larger orchestration unfolding beyond what your natural eyes can see. This Tuesday becomes a canvas where you participate consciously in that alignment. You refuse to wander. You refuse to move aimlessly. You refuse to be tossed between distraction and indecision. Instead, you rise with awareness that purpose becomes powerful only when it is aligned with the timing ordained for your life. You begin to sense that divine timing is not a delay tactic, it is a divine strategy. It is not an obstacle, it is an ordering. It is the rhythm of heaven guiding your steps, ensuring that what you were meant to accomplish unfolds at the moment of greatest impact. So, as you command this Tuesday, you declare that you will not walk ahead of divine timing, nor will you lag behind it. You step into sync with the invisible currents of destiny flowing around you. You realize that there is a time to move, a time to wait, a time to expand, a time to refine, and Tuesday becomes your day to listen deeply, discern accurately, and respond with precision. Misalignment breeds frustration, but alignment births momentum, and you choose momentum. You choose clarity. You choose the pacing of purpose governed by divine wisdom rather than impulses driven by emotions, fears, or pressures. As you walk through this Tuesday, you begin to understand that divine timing is not simply about waiting for the perfect moment. It is about becoming the version of yourself ready to steward that moment. The timing is not external alone. It is internal. It is about preparation. It is about growth. It is about cultivating inner maturity so that when the door opens, you are not overwhelmed by what you asked for. You begin to command this Tuesday to be a day of preparation, formation, construction, and refinement. You declare that this day will teach you what you need to know, shape what needs to be strengthened, and uproot what needs to be removed. You speak alignment over your mindset, your emotions, your habits, your decisions, and your expectations. You declare that you will not sabotage divine timing by holding on to outdated beliefs, unhealthy patterns, or relationships that do not match the frequency of where you are going. You free yourself from anything that hinders purposeful alignment. This Tuesday becomes a space for listening to divine instruction. You train your spirit to sense the signals of timing, those quiet impressions, subtle nudges, signs, confirmations, and inner knowing that guide you toward the right action at the right moment. You command your sensitivity to deepen, your awareness to sharpen, and your discernment to become keener. Divine timing often whispers before it announces, and you declare that you will not miss the whisper. You speak alignment into your perception so that you recognize opportunities disguised as challenges, lessons disguised as delays, and breakthroughs disguised as transitions. You declare that this Tuesday you will interpret life through the lens of purpose rather than emotion, through the lens of destiny rather than frustration. You align your perspective with a higher viewpoint. You begin to understand that aligning with divine timing requires trust, deep trust, unwavering trust. It requires surrendering the illusion of control without relinquishing responsibility. It requires releasing your timeline to embrace heaven's timeline. You remind yourself that delayed does not mean denied, that slow does not mean stagnant, that waiting does not mean forgotten. You declare over this Tuesday that you will trust the process without resisting the pacing. You will trust the unfolding without questioning the pathway. You will trust the timing even when the evidence is not yet visible. Your trust becomes the anchor that holds you steady, while divine timing arranges circumstances, people, resources, and opportunities in ways you cannot manufacture on your own. You speak to your heart and command it to trust. You speak to your mind and command it to rest. You speak to your emotions and command them to be still. You align your entire being with the rhythm of divine timing. As you move through this Tuesday, you begin to acknowledge that divine timing is connected to divine placement. You cannot be in the wrong place and expect the right timing to manifest. So you command your environment to align with your purpose. You declare that you will be positioned in the rooms, conversations, and relationships that carry significance for your destiny. You speak alignment over your workplace, your home, your community, your circle, your routines. You refuse to remain in spaces that diminish your potential or drain your energy. You speak alignment over the people assigned to your journey. You declare that those meant to walk with you will be drawn toward you, and those not meant for your future will peacefully distance themselves. You remove the weight of misalignment so you can run with greater ease. You command Tuesday to bring clarity regarding connections, partnerships, and collaborations so that every interaction contributes to your divine assignment. You begin to see that aligning your purpose with divine timing requires not only trust and sensitivity, but also intentional action. Purpose remains dormant without movement. Timing remains unused without obedience. You recognize that doors open when you're prepared to walk through them. So on this Tuesday, you command your steps to be deliberate, your decisions to be intentional, and your actions to be purposeful. You align your tasks, your goals, your conversations, and your schedule with what matters most. You refuse to spend energy on distractions disguised as obligations. You refuse to invest in activities that do not move you forward. You call discipline into your day. You call focus into your day. You call determination into your day. You command your Tuesday to support your purpose through system, structure, and strategic action. You understand that divine timing meets you halfway when you show up consistently with obedience, faith, and diligence. You reflect on how often people miss divine timing because they are waiting for perfect conditions. But you realize that alignment is not about perfection. It is about readiness. It is about responding when the moment arrives. Even if you feel unsure, even if you feel stretched, even if the step before you looks bigger than your comfort zone. And so you declare that this Tuesday you will not hesitate. You will not shrink back. You will not question your capacity. You align your courage with your calling. You align your decisions with your destiny. You declare readiness. You declare boldness. You declare that you are prepared for the opportunities that heaven opens. You speak to every fear that tries to keep you stagnant and command it to dissolve. You speak to every doubt and silence its voice. You speak to every insecurity and remind it that you are divinely designed, divinely equipped, and divinely assigned. You align your identity with the truth of your purpose. As you walk deeper into this Tuesday, you begin to understand that divine timing is not only about what is coming, but also about what must end. Some seasons must close for new ones to begin. Some cycles must break for new opportunities to emerge. Some relationships must shift for new alignments to unfold. You declare that this Tuesday will reveal what needs to be released. You command the courage to let go of what no longer serves your growth. You release outdated responsibilities, expired commitments, and emotional attachments that pull you backward. You speak alignment into your future by clearing space in your present. You remind yourself that divine timing cannot deliver new blessings into hands still gripping old burdens. You choose release. You choose freedom. You choose expansion. You declare that everything in your life that is misaligned with your purpose must now dissolve. You declare that nothing will clog the flow of divine timing in your life. You continue commanding your Tuesday with intention, recognizing that aligning purpose with divine timing is not a one-time decision, but a daily discipline. It requires moment-by-moment awareness, constant recalibration, and continual surrender. You declare that today your spirit will stay in tune, your mind will stay clear, your heart will stay steady. You determine that you will pay attention to the subtle cues that guide your interactions, decisions, and direction. You declare that confusion will not cloud your discernment. You declare that noise will not drown out divine instruction. You declare that opposition will not distract you from what heaven is orchestrating. You declare alignment over your internal rhythms so that your external actions follow the frequency of purpose rather than the fluctuations of emotion. You begin to sense that aligning with divine timing also requires gratitude, because gratitude keeps you grounded in the present moment rather than reaching prematurely into the future. You declare that on this Tuesday you will appreciate where you are while still preparing for where you are going. You refuse to rush the process. You refuse to resent the journey. You refuse to compare your timeline with anyone else's. You speak contentment into your heart. You speak peace into your spirit. You speak appreciation into your consciousness. Gratitude becomes the magnet that draws more aligned opportunities toward you. It becomes the fertile soil where divine timing plants seeds of breakthrough, elevation, and manifestation. As you continue commanding this Tuesday, you realize that alignment is not passive, it's powerful. It requires awareness, discipline, surrender, and courage. It requires listening to divine cues and responding with faith. It requires trusting the unseen hand orchestrating your steps. You remind yourself that nothing concerning your life is accidental. Every delay has purpose. Every redirection carries instruction. Every closed door protects you. Every open door invites you. Every challenge equips you. Every opportunity stretches you. Every moment sets the stage for the next moment. You command Tuesday to work in cooperation with these truths, to move you forward in harmony with your purpose, to unfold events that match the divine sequence assigned to your destiny. You declare over this day that divine timing is accelerating in your life. You speak that what was held up will now be released. What was hidden will now be revealed. What was delayed will now progress. What was confusing will now become clear. You declare that alignment will bring ease where there was strain, flow where there was resistance, clarity where there was uncertainty. You call your entire being into harmony with your mission. You align your expectations with heavenly timing. You align your actions with strategic purpose. You align your focus with your highest assignment. You declare that nothing today will pull you out of alignment. You remain centered. You remain grounded. You remain anchored in purpose. And as the flow of this Tuesday unfolds, you continue speaking alignment into every hour, every task, every interaction, every opportunity, every thought, every decision, every environment, every doorway, every outcome. You command this Tuesday to serve your destiny, to prepare the ground for divine appointments, to synchronize circumstances, to align pathways, to remove obstacles, to strengthen your inner posture, and to position you for what heaven has scheduled next. As you step into this Tuesday, you recognize that discipline, focus, and clarity are not optional traits. They are spiritual technologies that shape the trajectory of your entire week. You understand that without discipline, your potential remains dormant. Without focus, your energy becomes scattered. Without clarity, your decisions lose precision. So as you command this day, you call forth an activation of these qualities deep within your spirit. You declare that this Tuesday becomes the ignition point where your internal systems align with your highest level of performance, productivity, and divine purpose. You refuse to drift through the week with fragmented intention. Instead, you rise with the determination to govern your time, your thoughts, your habits, and your actions with unwavering commitment. You declare that discipline will anchor you, focus will guide you, and clarity will illuminate your path. You begin to understand that discipline is not about restriction. It is about alignment. It is the structure that empowers your creativity. It is the rhythm that supports your productivity. It is the consistency that transforms vision into